Hello and welcome to Adventures in Platforming, where we're playing Sundered from the makers of Jotun.
I don't remember what Jotun is.
It's a hand-drawn art, the thing where you fight Norse gods and stuff.
Yeah, I should have figured Norse from the name Jotun, but...
But anyway, this is a hand-drawn Metroidvania platformer type thingy with lots of Lovecraftian stuff.
Yeah, HP. Lovecraft. Everyone's favorite racist to base their games on.
That's frightening.
What?
I'll see in a second. So I have been playing this game a bit on PS4. I'm starting fresh here.
You got punched. But yeah, how much of this have you played so far?
Maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so the hook of this game is, although there's kind of specific landmarks you can find and bosses and stuff like that, the layout of things changes every time you go back to the home base or die, which sends you back to the home base.
Trying really hard not to be snarky about procedural generation.
Yeah, well, you can go ahead, but...
No, because the game looks good and I don't want to be too snarky.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does lead to some areas that are pretty bland, but at the same time, it does lead to cases where I would, start a new exploration run, and like a new ability or a boss or something like that would be closer than it was previously.
I just feel like one day I would feel like there would be a great deal less for me to complain about if someone just put in their press release, we did not have the money to hire a level designer.
Once I get access to the map, I'll kind of show you how this works. So this weird talking crystal thing is what gives you your attack, and I'm pretty sure it's also evil.
Like, historically, trusting talking crystals in video games has generally been a good choice, so I mean, I feel like you're being a little rude.
Okay.
Fear not. The shining... I didn't see how that was spelled, it's very strange. Listen, just because it's red and black doesn't mean it's evil. It's because it tells you not to think for yourself doesn't mean it's evil. I mean, it probably does, but...
Okay.
Ah, you have an attack button now.
The annoying thing about this game that is a bit of a loading time.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, so while this is loading, if you listen to our last episode, you may be like, this is not Metroid Prime 2.
I'm shocked that you would promise that we would play a sequel to a popular game and then not do it.
New releases always take priority, so it will be the new.
In conclusion, next game, Sonic Mania.
Yes, most likely.
I'll be playing that while you're playing it. Because I will not be able to resist. $15 new Sonic.
Yeah.
Apparently the most zone-for-zone, most zones in a Sonic game, as far as 2D Sonic goes.
Excellent.
Of course, they didn't say whether they were counting Sonic 3 and Knuckles as one game or two in that comparison, because Sega is very inconsistent upon what they're counting and how. Like, if it's convenient for them, yes, Sonic 3 and Knuckles are one game. If it's not convenient, no, they're different games. Oh, this load time is,
Yeah.
This could use a patch.
So... also coming out soon is the limited run of Monster Boy.
I thought it was Wonder Boy that was
Wonder
getting
Boy.
the
I don't know. I always
Monster
mess up
Boy's
name.
the new one. Wonder Boy's the old one.
Okay, yeah, Wonder Boy is the Dragon's Trap, right?
Yes.
I always mix them up. Anyway,
Wonder
that's
Boy and the Drunkard's Trap. Wait.
that's getting a limited run soon, so we'll probably do an episode on that at some point in the near future.
Yeah, for your poor station. You'll probably grab the fancy one that looks like a Master System cover, even though no one wanted things to look like Master System covers when Master System covers were new.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna get the standard.
I'm shocked.
I have no affinity for the Master System.
Yeah, but it's a fancy collector's edition.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to resist those more often.
Good.
Oh, but it has the soundtrack. Crap.
Okay, what does this contain? Okay, this contains... okay, it's just a description of the game. Okay, reversible cover art... 24-page manual, collector's edition, contains oversized box, a poster, 2-disc physical soundtrack, and a 10-card trading card pack. Just shuffle them into your Magic the Gathering deck and see what happens.
Don't think that'll work. They're probably a different size.
Now I'm just thinking about, I saw some people complaining about like a new Hearthstone card that had like the text, shuffle a copy of your opponent's deck into your deck, or something like that.
That is exactly what it says, actually.
Why?
Yeah.
That seems problematic.
It seems like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, but it actually isn't. Because generally in card
You
games...
want your deck to synergize with itself.
Yeah, you want your deck to be smaller, like have fewer cards. You don't want to put
The
in
only
a bunch
reason
of
you would
cards.
want more cards is, 1, to do more things, and 2, to avoid milling yourself. I'm not sure if that's a concern in Hearthstone. Oh, hey, it finished loading.
Yeah, not often, but sometimes, yeah. But, yeah, so... Generally speaking, you want fewer cards in your deck, which is why in games like Magic the Gathering, where you have a minimum of 60 cards, pretty much any competitive deck is going to be exactly 60 cards. But the card itself is not actually bad, depending on how you use it, because my thinking is you save it for like really late in the game, where you're both running out of resources, and
You have your opponent's resource.
especially if you're a good player and you know what kind of deck they like, you know what they like to flush in your deck. That's when you want to play. Obviously, get those resources in your deck.
I should have known the danger of giving you license to talk about Hearthstone.
Yeah.
This game is very pretty.
As you can see, there's like these big room type thingies that are broken up into little chunks.
Yeah.
And largely these are what get randomized to some extent. I think these large room type things also get kind of moved around. Like you see this icon, you'll see this icon down here, which isn't where you get a new ability, and sometimes those will move around as well. So like there's always...
like usually what a lot of things that have like platforming as a core value seem to do is they'll make like a handful of like challenge, like more than a handful, but like a set number of challenging areas, and then sort of like mix and match them. Yeah.
So like, and you'll always see some of these icons on here. So you'll always have like things that you should go towards. So it's not like your things reset when you die and you just kind of have to wander around. Well, this is not running well right now. Let me try and adjust the settings a bit. So, I mean, to be honest, I'm not totally sure what the point of making this stuff random was. It does kind of play into the themes of you're in this weird world and likely starting to lose your sanity, but We'll see.
It's one of those things where I feel like at some point, like, randomly generated has become sort of like a bullet point on the box to imply like infinite replayability, but a lot of times, like, there's really only so many ways you can arrange a lot of these if they're designed set pieces.
Yeah, and I'm wondering with a game that's all hand drawn, they wanted to try and
Stretch those resources.
Yeah. But in my experience so far, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's not a deal breaker. I just sort of guys, I will take a short game that's designed. It's fine. I do realize the trend is, at least to some degree, starting to turn by virtue of the fact that I've seen at least one indie game with the bullet point handcrafted levels. Which is just one of those things where it's like, I see what you've done.
Yeah.
Really, we're all just waiting for Dead by the Sword to obsolete all other video games.
Well, I'm sure... I was thinking about this. I'm sure the ridiculous popularity of The Binding of Isaac has moved
Binding of Isaac, Spelunky,
yeah.
like both of those have a lot to answer for why like action games became roguelikes.
Yeah. Which kind of stinks because those games are actually really freaking good. It's just all the indicators are not going to be as well designed as that.
I feel like it's interesting to analyze like why those two work better as in randomly generated capacities than a lot of others.
Yeah.
Like with Binding of Isaac, it's because it's built around like sort of a Zelda 1 dungeon.
Yeah.
So like, which if you've played it recently, it doesn't really matter what order things are arranged in a Zelda 1 dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And with Spelunky, it was because like every level needed to have a certain set of stuff, but like you could deform the level. So like the level's design didn't even matter per se to you so much as except in how it kept you from reaching the exit. I feel like once you add like elements where proper like high stakes platforming or like really elements that rely on much deeper precision of how the level is put together, it becomes impossible to imitate how Spelunky puts levels together.
Yeah.
Like that area is too high to jump to. Well, that's why they gave you ropes.
Thankfully, in this case, they're definitely very extremely measured in how they use that randomness.
Yeah.
Which is great. Alright, where am I? So... This little battery icon is way farther away than I think I've ever seen it. So one of the random hooks to this game is that you can at times be assaulted by incredible hordes of enemies. If you've seen any of the trailers for the games, you've seen like probably hundreds of things like chasing after the player, which I have not seen yet because I'm still relatively early on in the game, but I have been attacked by hordes and it is quite frightening to just be wandering along and then be surrounded by enemies. The nice thing about this, because no, this is not the Dark Souls of platforming, if you die, you go back to the start and you have everything you've collected. You lose nothing. So.
Not a proper roguelike. Someone is screaming the Berlin at.
Yes.
The Berlin interpretation straight into your ear. Well, the Berlin interpretation has its own Wikipedia page. Or at least it did at one point. I think it might have been cut.
Well, I'm sure, I'm sure there's also people screaming that this is not a Metroidvania for whatever reasons. Because it doesn't have well-structured and thought-out enemy placement. Okay.
I'm looking up the Berlin interpretation again. It was just like, imagine meeting up in Berlin to discuss what counted as a roguelike. The canon of roguelikes.
I mean, I'm sure if we go by that, The Binding of Isaac is not a roguelike.
I'm pretty sure that's the case, yes.
Because it's not turn-based.
Okay, high value factors. There's a point system here. Random environment generation, permadeath, turn-based, grid-based, non-modal. Every action should be available at any point in the game. Violations to this are add-ons, overworld, or angbans and crawls at shop. Complexity. The game has enough complexity to allow several solutions to common goals. Resource management. Hack and slash. Killing lots of monsters is a very important part of a roguelike. Exploration and discovery. Low value factors. Single player character. Monsters are similar to players. Tactical challenge. ASCII display. Dungeon. Numbers.
The ASCII display one really annoys me.
It's a low value factor.
It better be. Better be the lowest value ever.
Oh yeah. Also, Steam is trying to sell me another platformer.
Which one?
Super Cloud Built.
Huh.
If you've never played Cloud Built, it is worth your time. It's a speedy game where you're a robot in 3D platforming.
There's another thing about this game, in addition to be able to bounce off walls, you have like this upward slash that can kind of give you some extra height on a jump.
Sort of like a Smash Brothers.
Yeah. So I've been able to kind of, before I even got the double jump in the game, get to higher areas I probably shouldn't have been able to get to.
That's good.
So, I don't know if sequence breaking is required for Metroidvanias, or how that
it's a
falls
high value
on their
factor.
high value factor.
Sadly, we won't be able to stream Samus Returns.
Yeah.
Unless someone here wants to invest in a 3DS capture card.
Hell no. Those things ain't cheap.
Say what?
Those things ain't cheap.
Yeah, those things are like more expensive than 3DS.
Yeah.
Plus you have to send them to like some crazy man who's gonna wire it in.
Yeah.
That's the best part. It's just like, there's like 3 people that do it. So it's just like, well, send your 3DS to this man and like 3 months later it comes back. But now it's been Frankenstein together with capture card.
Surprised I've not died in this game yet.
It won't last. You're a disappointment to me and your mother.
So things like unlocking doors in here, and if I ever get to this faraway battery icon, like unlocks stay in place. Like, so if anyone calls this a roguelike, just smack them in the face.
Get punched. It's actually just a game with randomly generated levels that doesn't know what a checkpoint is.
I wouldn't even use the word random. I would just say it has shifting levels.
The Sundered is a creature of chaos.
Yes. And that's really the general idea. I mean, they probably just use that as an in-story excuse, but whatever. It makes sense. Makes sense.
I appreciate the attempt at an excuse at the very least.
Yeah.
A lot of times, random generation doesn't have an explanation. It's just like whatever. Wheels, a quick question.
Yes.
What is your favorite platformer for the following systems? PlayStation.
PlayStation. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Good choice. Sega Saturn.
Nice.
That's really pushing the limits of what counts as platform.
Pandemonium.
Oh wow. Deep cuts. Nintendo 64.
Mario 64.
Wise choice. Atari Jaguar.
Fuck that thing.
Not a big fan of Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tales?
No.
Oh god, we're gonna be loading for a while. Let's see. Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Super Mario World.
Good choice. Sea Genesis.
Sonic and Knuckles.
You're allowed to list Sonic 3 and Knuckles as one game.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Dreamcast.
No comment.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. Fuck. Jack 2.
Good choice. PlayStation.
Even though I never
3.
played it on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, but it's a PS2 game. PlayStation 3.
PlayStation 3.
They've been kind of slim there. There's not a lot of really like standout platformers on PS3.
Sly Cooper and Thieves in Time.
That's a good choice. Xbox.
The original?
Yeah. Listen, I can name you like a bazillion of them.
Just throw a few out at me.
Blinks, the Time Sweeper,
Oh,
Torque,
God.
Prehistoric Punk, Voodoo Vents, Psychonauts. Psychonauts is really the one you should probably be choosing.
Psychonauts, yeah.
Malice,
Psychonauts.
Now I'm just thinking of like some of the really forgotten ones from that era. Who wants to talk about Evil Twin, Cyprian's Chronicles?
No one.
I might have made that up and you wouldn't know the difference. But I didn't make it up, that's a real video game. My favorite thing, I love that game because I remember the official US PlayStation magazine had like a column it would do where like if a game had fallen off the radar, they would like do a specific like we checked in with the publisher to see what had happened to it. And they asked Ubisoft, hey, what happened to Evil Twin Cyprian's Chronicles? And Ubisoft lied to them.
Nice.
Like, Ubisoft responded with, there was a problem with development, the game never finished. The game totally came out. It came out only in Europe and they just dropped it. But for some reason, Ubisoft lied to them.
Wow. Is that it for the systems? We got more?
I don't know, I'm trying to think of, like, what, NES.
I need something to name Rayman Origins for.
Xbox 360.
Okay, that's good enough.
NES.
NES. NES. Mega Man 3.
Man, tough. That was a tough crowd. Let's see. GameCube.
GameCube.
put you in the shame.
Sonic Heroes.
Wow.
Just kidding.
I can't believe you do me dirty like this. What goes up must come down. Make sure you no.
Yes, Mario and his shitty water jetpack thing.
Listen, the jetpack is not the bad part of something.
Yeah.
The bad part is that they just wrecked progression and released a game that was kind of not done, much like they did with Wind Waker.
I was trying to think of what other platformers were out for that system.
Like, there's a lot of multi-platform ones, but they're of dubious quality, like Taken the Power of Juju or Tide the Tasmanian Tiger.
Or Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes. It's the best version of Sonic Heroes if you want to go by that. Replacing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
No.
Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut.
No, I hate Sonic Adventure.
Wow, get out. You and me, behind the schoolyard. I break you. Man, I remember the period where, like, developers felt that they needed to make some sort of compensation for the lack of an online mode for their GameCube games, and EA's strategy was to just insert Mario into all of their frickin' GameCube sports games. So he's in NBA Street V3, he's in Fight Night Round 3, I think? It's Round 2 or Round 3, it's been a while. Let me double check this, this is just ridiculous. Okay, it came out... Okay, no, it must have been Round 2 because Round 3 didn't come out on GameCube.
Look, it's a boss room I can't get to yet.
You're a boss room.
So this battery icon I'm trying to get to, what that will do is these areas where there's just red lights on will restore the power here, and then I can unlock doors and there'll be elevators moving and stuff like that. So it's quite important to get to it.
Oh no, wait, it was Little Mac they inserted, which made way more sense.
It's almost like unlocking something in a Metroidvania. This power
You're like unlocking things in a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
I should say, they called him Little Mac, but he was the blonde kid from frickin' Super Punch-Out, who in my mind will never be Little Mac. It's a different boxer.
Little fake.
Yeah, basically.
But when will he be Big Mac?
When McDonald's falls asleep at the Switch.
Falls asleep at the Switch, you say?
I hate you. Let's talk about that time the Treasure made a McDonald's game.
Did they?
Yeah, McDonald Land Treasure Adventure.
That was made by Treasure?
Yeah.
Oh, it's...
Hence, Treasure Adventure.
Was it terrible?
No, it's actually pretty good.
It's not the shitty platformer, is it?
It's the Genesis one.
Yeah.
McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, I should say. But yeah, made by Treasure. Treasure's Genesis output's weird as hell.
Power.
They tell you all about, like, frickin'... I'm just looking at their list of games. They made a bunch of Tiny Toons games after a while. Dynamite Heady, Yu Yu Hakusho, Makio Toisen, which is a 4-player 2D fighter. Light Crusader, which is a Zelda knockoff, and Isometric.
Oh, that game was terrible.
It's not awful, it's just not great.
It's terrible.
Did you play a lot of Light Crusader as a child, Wheels?
No, I played it in some Genesis collection. Actually, I may have had it as a kid. Shit.
I don't think it's in any collections.
That was. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
Yeah, I don't recall it actually being in a collection.
Yeah, I definitely think it was something else. Which one was Light Crusader? Is it basically a Zelda ripoff?
It's a vaguely Zelda-esque construct. It's isometric, but it's not Landstalker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the game I'm thinking of.
Who knows? It was on Virtual Console at some point.
That may be where I played it.
Yeah, because I don't... Oh, it might have been... Huh. It was in a PC Genesis collection from who knows how long ago.
Hold on. Busy trying to not die. It's proving difficult because I'm fighting all the things.
You're fighting 90s.
Okay. Success.
Right. I'm going back to listen to Treasure Games. I'm a big fan of Bleach Dark Souls for having the name Dark Souls before Dark Souls was Dark Souls. Eternally wrecking search engine optimization for like 3 years.
That reminds me of searching for The End Is Nigh and always coming up with this stupid Watchmen game called The End Is Nigh.
Your other option was coming up with the comedy film. It's a really generic name.
Yeah.
I remember there is a canceled PS2 Treasure Tiny Toons game, which is just baffling for why did it exist in the first place. Like, were the kids really looking for new Tiny Toons content in 2002?
Maybe they were?
Apparently there's a prototype ISO of the game leaked. It is apparently, it was apparently far enough along that the game could be described as feature complete.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like the sort of thing that happened because either the publisher was going out of business, or the license was lost at an inopportune moment.
Yeah.
Publisher Conspiracy Entertainment was in dire financial shape at the time. That early PS2 era was when a lot of companies just either got eaten by larger ones or died entirely at really bizarre times.
It's died again.
Review.
Swarmed. Loading, loading.
Loading star.
Loading heroes.
Why do you do this? We just get like a friend annulment right now. Ah!
Sigh.
This is your fault.
Yeah, probably.
You belong in space hell. It's the real place.
So, recently I have watched Indie Game the movie.
Yeah.
Super late to the party, but at some point we will do episodes on each of those games.
Super Meat Boy and Fez and third one, Braid probably.
Yeah.
Where like Jonathan Blow is presented as the elder statesman.
Yes.
Jonathan Blow pontificates on mostly nothing. We'll go with mostly nothing.
I never really know what he's talking about most of the time.
I kind of lost interest in Braid about 2/3 of this game.
It's an interesting game.
It's fine. It just like by that point I was like, yeah, I've had about enough of this.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Forget.
Like I'm imagining being the crazy person that finds all the stars, and it's just like I don't know who you are or what this was for.
I tried to get all the puzzle pieces, but it was just there was one of the I forget which time mechanic completely screwed me over, but there was one that it just.
The one I
hurt
recall
my
having the
core
most
brain.
difficulty with was the one where like if you walk left, time goes backward, and if you walk
yeah.
right, time goes forward.
Yeah, that one was tough.
Yeah, like I don't know. The game was fine. I just didn't really feel any real connection to it. Like once I was like, okay, I've seen enough time gimmicks. It's just like, I don't really feel like finishing this. And I never did.
Me neither. But I had a lot of fun playing it when I did.
I had reasonable fun.
Yeah. So I gonna say, so this game presents you with the very obvious detail that when you acquire certain amounts of shards, you can use them to get something unspecified, or destroy them
stuff.
and not turn into a horrible, scary monster.
So I'm checking how old Braid is. I have a sneaking suspicion that, yeah, it turns 10 next year.
Yeah, he's old. Super Meat Boy. The other's not really as old.
Yeah.
Actually, Fez is only 3 years old.
Yeah, but Fez was in development for like a billion years.
Yeah. Say, pretty sure Super Meat Boy only came to like PS4 and stuff in like 2014.
Yeah, well, PS4 came out in 2013. That doesn't really have much to do with when it first came out.
That's true. Shit.
Okay, yeah. Like, the problem that Fez ran into was that it was publicly in development for over 5 years.
Yeah. Jesus. Run away, not today, disco lady. Oh god. I can't go that way, because I don't have the double jump.
Oh yeah, I do remember a mild controversy involving how Fez is portrayed in Indie Game the movie. And I'm not sure if they ever went back and fixed this.
What's that?
But at least on original release, like, as I recall, there is a subplot about like legal rights to some aspects of Fez that have to be signed away at some stage.
Yes, that's still in there.
Yeah, so, yeah, I knew that was still in there, but like essentially, like, they're at any point really into the guy that is on the other end of that. It's mostly Phil Fish.
Yeah.
In the original cut, at least, the credits basically said that, like, oh, he declined to participate, and what they didn't say, and what was more accurate, was that he was asked not to participate.
Oh.
Which is a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Also, you are dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, Fez might be good. I just, like, I find Phil Fish kind of a distasteful person, and I don't care enough to actually try playing the game.
Well, I will do it for you.
That's fine. I will put aside my distaste for Phil Fish and judge the game.
How do I get to this damn room?
You...
What was I gonna say? Before I got completely distracted by the game I'm playing. So I watched like they have like what I assume was probably the special features on the DVD release. They have that where it's got some of like the stuff that happened after those games came out. And it was interesting, all of them dealing with idiots on the internet and the different ways they deal with it.
Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like, I cannot like you, but I'm also never going to be like, hey, it's totally okay to be an unsolicited dick to you.
Yeah, one of the things was apparently somebody hacked the Super Meat Boy server where people could upload levels for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that's sort of like, that's a very, like, the internet's anarcho-devil-may-care attitude towards, like, things that other people make.
But then he had to turn some special security on, so that pretty much stopped anyone uploading levels.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, internet.
Thanks, douchebag.
You do you. You love it.
Someone to contact him. It's like, oh, your database is forward public facing or something. He's like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, because it doesn't have any private information or anything. It's fucking Super Meat Boy levels.
Yeah, like, what is it gonna have in it? Meat Boy levels. A server.
Jesus.
You know, like, I don't like the way that Fish was treated, but at the same time, like, I will bring this up because this was a touch of controversy, especially at the time, but, like, at the same time, his decision to kill Fez 2 was something that he didn't consult any of the people he employed about.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I get that you are facing, like, an unfair situation, but, like, you also thrust other people into unfair situations, so...
Yes, at some point you have to be the adult and realize that you are under no requirements to talk to people on the internet.
Yeah, one of those things where it's I feel like he would have been better off if he just kept his Twitter locked. Yeah. There was no way to completely get rid of them, but I think that it was one of those situations where it's like... There were periods where his Twitter was locked and you got less of that nonsense. It's still completely brutally unfair, but it's also one of those, like... complicated situations.
Yeah.
Also, this is an interesting, like, background area you've got here. A bit more, tech. There's a very sort of, like, odd amount of, like, this is natural, this is technical, this is high-tech, what's going on here?
Yeah, obviously some sort of ancient facility.
Yeah.
There's also, like, the robots and mechs and whatnot.
Listen, I'm never gonna say no to robot. You just trying to reach a point where you, like, hit a boss?
Yeah, I'm trying to reach this first boss. We're not gonna get to the cool giant bosses you've seen in trailers.
You can find them yourselves, dear viewer.
But the mini-bosses, I would like to show off at least one mini-boss.
Look at this glow.
Yeah, one of the important things about this game, obviously, right away, is to start to learn the patterns of how these enemies attack. You may have noticed the mech things. Lethal from far away, but you get up close to them and you can pretty much just destroy them. They don't do anything. So, good to take those out quickly, and then you can kind of deal with everything else. But I'm sure once I get to like the massive hordes of things, it's going to be a lot more chaotic.
I was gonna say, you mentioned having dumped about 5 hours into this. How far do you think you are into it?
Like right now, we're like 5 hours in.
Yeah, in your farthest file.
Let's see, I beat one boss, maybe I haven't beaten the second one. Probably pretty close to getting to the end of the first area.
Wow.
So if you look at the main area, like your starting area, I don't think I went to them, but there's like a giant door on each side, which I think are 2 main areas, and obviously the one on the bottom that I've been going into is the first one. So I think there's essentially like 3 areas, which each have like their different sections of them, different environments. So I'd say almost a third of the way through the game, but I'm
fairly healthy for 5 hours then.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of roadblocks the second and third areas will give you.
Yeah. I'm not sure what opens up this door to this boss. Doesn't seem to be anything obvious on the map. I am actually not sure where to go. Shit. Well, I'm just gonna go to this big empty room over to the right. See what's there. Shit. God, that sound. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. So I'm assuming this like weird alarm sound you hear periodically is what alerts you that you're about to be spoiled.
Your death is imminent.
If you're wondering, oh, I can just run to another room and, the door will close and the enemies will follow me. No! It does not work like that. You could probably run, you probably can escape some distance, but most likely you're gonna have to run much farther than you think.
So Wheels.
Yes.
What are the platformers that are upcoming that you're interested in before Mario Odyssey? Aside from Sonic Mania, because we've discussed it at length.
Is there anything coming out?
I feel like there must be, but I can't think of any. Well, I mean, Samus Returns.
Yeah. That's for sure. I mean, I've already been playing lots of Cave Story, and I'm at the last sequence of bosses, which is insanely hard.
Good ending?
I'm trying to get the best ending.
Figured. Like that's where some of the bosses get real bad.
Yeah, well, I haven't even got to that part yet. I'm just at like apparently there's 4 bosses in a row
Oh god.
at the end. But
Good.
so I gave away the initial gun you get for a machine gun, which apparently was a bad move.
It can be useful for some platforming sequences, but it's probably the weakest of the things you can swap the Polar Star for.
It was useful on many occasions, but yeah.
I think the spur is supposed to be the strongest one.
Yep.
But I think the spur also like starts shooting rubber ducks if you get any like weapon XP for it. Which is, you know, powerful.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is coming out. I'm sure there's like some indie stuff I'm forgetting. Sure was something when we drop a health thingy. Oh no.
That sounds bad.
That sound.
Oh, you getting swarmed again?
I think so.
Oh no, wait, it's the Nemesis that seems to fire rubber ducks. Yeah, because the Nemesis decreases in power as you collect experience points. Oh yeah, I think it's one of the things... Yeah, you can trade the blade for the Nemesis.
I love the blade though. Why would I trade that for anything?
More ducks and for your life decisions. I mean, that seemed fairly obvious.
Yeah. The secrets of bosses I'm on now is kind of annoying now, because I'm playing the whole game thinking like, oh, I only have to fight one boss at a time. You know, I can take some hits. Now I cannot, and although none of them are super hard, it's just a matter of preserving life. And I wasted my full heal item somewhere along the way to this point, so
Nice job, nerd.
screwed myself over a bit. Unlock another health elixir. Oh, so yeah, I guess I didn't mention this thing at all. This is the giant tree where you can pick upgrades.
Probably Yggdrasil.
Very important to spend your points as often as possible. Okay. See, I just do not know where to go right now.
Rip. Just waiting to see if you can finish that first mini-boss.
Give it a little bit
I
longer.
believe in you.
Yeah, this game is really good.
It seems it.
Looking forward to seeing massive hordes of enemies.
Yeah, as you do.
So when is that other Monster Boy game supposed to come out?
That should be relatively soon, I think. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom comes out... Currently seems to still just be listed as 2017.
Yeah. You know, there was a new platform that just came out that I forgot about.
What's
I
up?
saw Unbox Newbie's Adventure.
I think I've heard that name, but nothing else about it.
It's a 3D platformer where you play as a postal box.
These are getting weird.
Yeah. I guess it came out on PC last year, but it just came out on like PS4 and Xbox.
Okay, you can be... oh my god. Okay, I'm looking at this and all I can think is, my boy's a box! A box!
Box. Okay, here's a mini boss.
Hey,
Let's see if I can
okay,
activate
this
this.
looks fun. Looking at this, it looks fun.
So there is going to be some kind of worm down here. Let's see if it ever what the thing is. Seeing the actual boss.
Oh, and there is a
There
Switch
it is.
version coming.
There's like a yellow worm down here that you have to try and kill amongst all this horde of other enemies. And I don't think I've been able to beat this mini boss on PS4.
No, rip.
So let's see if I can beat it here.
I don't know why boxes can drive cars. Sorry, I'm just looking at these trailers now. This is what you get for telling me about Post Office Box game. Coming when? Coming soon.
Jesus.
My boy's a box.
My god, I actually beat it.
Wow, I can't say I was expecting you to. My apologies, just, you know, being 200% honest with you. Congratulations, Wheels. How do you feel?
My finger hurts.
That seems like as good a reason to stop as any.
From mashing the attack button. Oh god. Oh god.
You getting wrecked again?
If you're watching the stream, you'll see it in a second. It's kind of funny.
I'm watching. Wow, Rip.
I'm pretty sure I cannot see like any red in my health bar right now.
Yeah, you look like you should be dead.
It's only my shields.
They should be reattaching your spine.
I feel like I'm gonna hear that damn sound anytime soon now.
Like, any moment now, you're going to get just swarmed by
Yeah.
hundreds of enemies and die. And you'll have earned it.
Some sort of room I can't traverse any higher in.
Wow. Whoops.
It's weird.
I feel like you would need a double jump and a wall jump to get through this.
Yeah.
And or the capacity to fly. Gergs.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
That's always the sound that I associate with positive things happening. Oh. I have the sound off, so I'm not hearing a constant echo.
It's just like this. It sounds like an alarm you might hear in any sci-fi show.
It's an alarm to indicate a hull breach.
So yeah, that kind of thing. Almost like, just like the sound is slightly off, so it almost sounds like non-mechanical, if you know what I mean. Like it could just be some other weird thing. It's unsettling, is what it is.
Rippin'.
Hordes arrive when you least expect them. Thank you, game.
I learned so much.
But I always expect them.
Well, that's why you least expect them at any given moment.
Alright, and I think I'll just end the stream here while it's on the loading screen. That is Sundered.
It looked fun.
It's a really good game. I highly recommend people check it out. And we will be back sometime soon with either Metroid Prime 2 or another new release episode, depending on when we record next.
Probably Sonic Mania.
Yeah. But yeah.